So, you've got your new microphone. Sounds great. It's a big improvement. But could it be better? Yes. Let's find out how. Hey everyone, I'm Brea Thorne. Welcome to the channel. This is part 2 of the sound series, filters and VSTs. Now, filters and VSTs are things that are there in your software to help you make your sound better. Filters in particular are just like, say, a water filter or an air filter. It takes a stream of something and it changes its nature by adding or subtracting to make it, ideally, better. VSTs are audio plugin software that simulates studio hardware. That means instead of having a rack of equipment to have your EQ, so you can change your frequency levels, compression to compress the signal, which we'll get to all that later. Instead, it's just a plugin that is added to your existing software. What we're doing today is a quick jump into 3 very important VSTs. Now you're going to want your headphones for this because there are going to be subtle changes to the sound you're hearing. So let's grab them. Now we're not going to be using the filters that come with OBS or Streamlabs OBS because they're a little bit limited. They can do the job, but it helps to have a visual representation of what's happening, and VSTs, in particular ones we're going to get, will help you get that. So go open up your favorite web browser and go on over to Google and just go search for Reaper VST free. Okay, that first link right there, that's the one you want. Now, there are a lot of options here, obviously, and this all comes with this one package that's completely free. This is what you would get with the Reaper platform, but instead you can add it to your own software. So go over to the download right here, and hopefully you have a 64-bit operating system. Go ahead and click 64-bit right there. Now put it in whatever directory you like and hit save. Wherever your downloads are, go over there and just go ahead and run that .exe. Yep, there it is. Okay, after you run this, you can open up your OBS or Streamlabs OBS and you're ready to go. Now first, you'll probably want to open your advanced audio settings. Here, you can go to audio monitoring right there, and you can set it to monitor and output on your microphone so you can hear it back. Make sure you hear the changes that are happening. If you have a delay in your stream or in your video recordings, you're going to want to change the sync offset right here. The easy way to do this, if you're having trouble hearing yourself through your own headphones, and that's it is kind of awkward because there's a bit of a delay usually, is you can just go ahead and record yourself talking. And then with a little bit of trial and error, you can figure out the exact amount of sync offset you need. Obviously, 235 milliseconds is a good amount, but that's what I get for using a USB 2.0 capture card instead of a USB 3.0. There's more lag that way. Anyway, if you're having that problem, that is where you fix it. Now, what you'll want to do, what I did anyway, is I recorded some audio samples. I just used the Windows audio recorder, which is really simple. You just click on this microphone button here, you start saying what you want to say, and then you get these recordings. You can play it here, but honestly, you just want to get it and put it into a media player. Open file location right there, it'll show you right where it put it. Now, once you have these, you can just name them whatever you want, and then put them in your audio player. There you go. Rah, Brea Thorne, rah! Anyway, yeah, so go to your actual audio source, your microphone. We're using the stream audio here. And, oh, I left one there. My bad. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so you'll have no filters applied. You press plus right there, and you go to filter type. Now ignore all of these. These are the built-in ones. They're okay, but we're going for something more granular here. So go to VST 2.x plugin. Name it whatever you want. I use 3 different naming conventions here. This is just straight up noise gate. And then you go to VST 2.x plugin, and you're going to look for the noise gate, or regate, as Reaper names it. Now, once you've opened it, pull it over, and zoom in. You don't actually have to zoom in. So this is what it looks like. So we'll make sure on your audio player you have it to loop one track, or yeah, whatever, and let's hear it. This is a test for the noise gate. I've got a small fan nearby, and it's providing some noise that you might get similar to like an AC unit or a fan near you. Let's see if we can get that to go away. Okay, so what am I doing here? What I'm doing here is I am adjusting the threshold for when it starts to filter out noise. You see, before we even started, we had this sort of bumping sort of green there, and that was the background noise. All you need to do is raise that threshold just above that, because that is your baseline background noise level. Okay, so let's hear what it sounds like when we do that bare minimum. This is a test for the noise gate. I've got a small fan nearby, and it's providing some noise that you might get similar to like an AC unit or a fan near you. Let's see if we can get that to go away. I think we did. Now that is, again, the baseline. That's the starting point. If you have an extremely noisy keyboard or mouse and you're doing something like an audio recording that's more sensitive, that you really want to get just your words in it, you'll want to sort of tweak that more. The only thing to be careful of is raising that threshold too high. Let's hear what it sounds like when we do that. So this is a good level right here. This is a test for the noise gate. I've got a small fan nearby, and it's providing that you might get similar to like an AC unit or a fan near you. Let's see if we can get that to go away. So clearly, we lost some words there, because whenever you're speaking, you're not at the same volume the entire time. You sort of have dynamics to your own voice, and you'll start off softer and come in louder as you're making emphasis on words or speaking a little bit quietly. So we can't really bring that threshold too high without having issues like that. Instead, we're going to bring it up just a bit and make sure that we don't lose anything on the quieter parts of the speech. So this is a test for the noise gate. I've got a small fan nearby, and it's providing some noise that you might get similar to like an AC unit or a fan near you. Let's see if we can get that to go away. There you go. We didn't lose any speech, and that's going to help filter out some of the background noise. That's your noise gate. That's it. Now we can actually go ahead and move on. Next, we're going to do compression. Of course, we have a compression test here, and you're going to go do the same thing. Go to the settings for that channel and go to plus, hit VST 2.x plugin, and then give it a name. Here I'm doing a different naming convention, Reaper Compressor. There we go. Now you're gonna have to go in and select the actual plugin itself from the list. Recomp Standalone is the one we're gonna use. We're not gonna use the other compressor that's there. It's more complicated. We're keeping this simple. So once you've got that going, you can actually open the interface, bring it in, and zoom in. All right. So what does a compressor do? Let's talk about that first. The goal of a compressor is to take the different levels in your own speech, like we just talked about with the noise gate, and help you have steadier levels of audio. Okay, so when you're being very quiet, I'm coming to kill you, it'll pick that up a bit. And when you are really loud and you're yelling into your microphone and basically bursting your viewers' eardrums, Risky and Braythorn, let's go! It's gonna bring that down so that you don't clip. Clipping is bad. We don't want that. What you have here on the screen is gonna be the threshold on the left. That, as you bring it down, that's gonna show the threshold for the minimum amount of sound it's gonna bring up. Next to that, under envelope, there's one important one here, and that is ratio. The ratio is the amount of compression. This is me speaking softly. And this is me speaking loudly. Ha 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 ha! Now, if we look here, you'll actually see this being way too far down on the levels and then getting too high, actually getting a little bit in the yellow is fine. That's actually the goal. But you'll notice when I turn up the gain there to bring up those low parts, then it almost peaks. It gets past the halfway point on the yellow there. That's into some dangerous territory. What we want to do is use compression to help us sort of squeeze those together a bit, compress it. Let's start with the ratio. The industry standard is 4:1. Now, nothing happened yet, but that's because we hadn't done this. We're bringing down that threshold. And we're keeping it right within where the green starts, right just under that. Okay, just under the lowest tones of your voice. Okay, now you see on the right, these red bars coming down. That's how much it's taking off the top. So it's actually taking quite a bit off the top. That means your volume's gonna be lower. So if you raise that section right here for the output mix where it says wet, the slider there that says wet on it, that is your affected audio. That is the audio with the compression added in. The dry is all the way down to infinite because we don't need that. That is uncompressed audio. So now we can bring up the gain on the wet there. That's going to help us gain back the decibels that we lost by compressing.
This is a test recording. Let's see what this filter does. Test, 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 test.
So the goal is to get most of your audio just under or just barely into the yellow there on that bar. And we're starting to get there. Let's bring that up a little bit. This takes some fine tuning. There's no way for me to give you exact levels of what works for you because every voice is like a fingerprint. Everyone's personality while speaking is different, so you'll have to find what works for you. But this is how you sort of get there. Let's hear it.
This is a test recording. Let's see what this filter does. Test, 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 test.
Now I'm using a different soundbite here because the really loud one and the really quiet one, the one that had both, was helpful to find our upper and lower limits. But what you're mostly going to be doing is speaking normally, and we want to make sure that that comes through well. So that's what we're doing here. Now, what you'll see on that bar is my normal speech is going to get down to about -5, -6 sometimes, maybe a little lower, but that's okay. You just need to adjust the threshold a little bit and then adjust your output mix, on the wet side anyway, as you go. Now, we're all done there. So we're going to add another one now. We're looking at EQ. An equalizer, okay? Now, an EQ is a very helpful tool for bringing out the inherent tones of your voice and also bringing out the tones that you want to bring out and emphasize and bringing down the ones you don't want. So, this is what an EQ looks like, and it's very nice to have a visual representation of the sound wave. And you'll see that in a minute. But this is one thing that bothers me about the filters that are included with OBS and Streamlabs OBS. They don't have an EQ. So we're gonna use this one from Reaper. What you're seeing here are bands, okay? And you can use these dots here to adjust the different frequencies, okay? From low to high, left to right. We're changing the low one from a low shelf to a band, and that gives it, I think, a little more flexibility. And same thing for the high shelf, that's gonna become a band as well. Plus, you can add more of them if need be for fine tuning. So, let's see what the wavelength looks like here.
This is a test recording. Let's see what this filter does. Test, 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 test.
Now, that looks a little low. You can adjust your gain if you want, but this is not really the place to do it, I feel. But yeah, it also helps to adjust the gain if you really just need to see the sound wave there. So let's go ahead and make a few adjustments here, and I'm going to show you how it affects the sound wave. So here, this is going to 500 Hertz, and I want to show you what it does to the sound when we bring that all the way down. Check this out.
This is a test recording. Let's see what this filter does.
And then the highs.
Test, 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 test.
Yeah. So you get to hear the changes it actually makes in the voice in real time. And it's very cool, actually. So let me show you just some basic adjustments that you can make that can generally help. This is kind of a shotgun thing. This works for me. It may not work for you. This is another thing where you'll have to just toy with it a bit and sort of feel your way through it, see what works for your voice and the microphone that you have, because honestly, that can be a factor as well. Every microphone picks up certain frequency ranges better than others. So that's something to keep in mind for sure. A very standard cut to make, a cut being you take some of the level out of it, you bring it down some, is at 500 Hertz. It's a lower mid-tone that can make things kind of muddy. So if you want to clear up your voice a bit, you bring down 500 some. Now we can also adjust the bandwidth to make it narrower here. And then we can raise up, usually anything over 1,000 or 2,000, you can bring that up and it'll bring out the brightness in your voice. Now we can add bands as well, and we're going to use this to sort of bring down the very, very super high frequencies. That's something I like to do. It helps with S's and, you know, popping sounds, high frequency sounds. You can bring down the low frequencies for any boomy noises, people stomping around upstairs, but don't need to do that usually.
This is a test recording. Let's see what this filter does. Test, 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 test.
So one more time, let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like with the changes that we've made.
This is a test recording. Let's see what this filter does. Test, 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 test.
It's just a little clearer, the lows are a little better. Now, I did do one thing that's a little weird, but it's going to show you how the frequencies in the voice work throughout this spectrum here. Is that weird? I don't care. It was fun. And that explains the file name too, so whatever. Okay, now, if you want to add all of these things that you did to another audio channel that doesn't already have it, easy. All you have to do is go to the audio channel here, the device and the mixer that you've added these filters to, or these VSTs. You click on the wheel, hit copy filters, go to the next device you want to add them to, hit paste filters, and there they are. Easy. That's it. We are done. Okay, so after all that, there are your filters. You got it. That's 3 very important filters that can help bring out the qualities of your voice. Now, I believe that all of you have beautiful voices, and these are just ways to get past the limitations of digitizing your voice. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on Twitch. I stream every Sunday and Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central. Also, do not miss this, but on Friday, got a big one coming up on Friday. Friday is not a day I normally stream, but I've been working on this for almost a month now. The 30th of October, we've got the big Halloween spooky stream with myself and 3 other streamers, all very cool people, and we're gonna have pumpkin carving contest, costume contest, spooky games, and more. Please come join us at 7:30 p.m. Central, Friday the 30th, October 2020. And we want all of you to join. Spread the word if you want. Actually, please, yes, spread the word. Get as many people in as we can, because guess what? If you're at that Halloween party, you're not at a physical Halloween party getting sick. As I said recently at the end of a stream, I care deeply about everyone in my community, and I don't want any of you getting sick. Come hang out. Please join us, and if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter at Breathorn, and come to the stream on Thursday. For the first time, this Thursday, I'm going to be doing a music stream. It's my first time doing it. I'm very nervous, and I'm not sure how the format's going to come out, but we're going to give it a try. So, hope to see you guys there. Again, thank you for watching the video. If you have questions with technical things, that's perfectly natural. Please don't hesitate to shoot me a message. The link to the Discord is in the description below. If you want to be part of the community, then you already belong. If you want any more details on any of this stuff, please let me know in the comments below, or on Discord, or on Twitter. There are so many ways to reach me. Just let me know. So thank you for joining me. I will see you next Monday with another highlight vid, and after that, more audio stuff. We're keeping the series going. So until then, take care. Please exercise your right to vote in the upcoming US election. Thank you.